Hello and welcome to A Drink and a Song, a place where we can gather to share a drink and break down a song. So before we get into the song or the drink, I want to tell you a little bit about me and how we got here and how we got onto this channel. So before I had a place to come up and have a drink and listen to a song, both of my daughters were dating guys whose fathers had man caves. So my one daughter actually married that man, and his father had an old Christmas tree farm. And there was a barn on it, or a shed, that they turned into an English pub because they're from England. And we went to their pub called the Rusty Groundhog, and it was so cool. There was music, there was a groundhog that lived under it, thus the name, the Rusty Groundhog. And it was just a great space. Well, then my other daughter was dating a boy, and I became friends with his father, and he had this massive man cave that was phenomenal. It had everything you could think of it. He was really into race cars and lots of other things, so it was decorated that theme, and it was awesome. And it got me thinking, I have a barn. I have a barn that has an upstairs that's full of furniture and just storage stuff. It could be my man cave. And so this was 2020. Started looking into it, and I said, you know what? I'm going to get a man cave. And I already knew what I was going to name it. So for 20 some years, I've had 3 children yelling the words, "Hey Daddy. Hey Daddy, where are you? Hey Daddy, where's my stuff? Hey Daddy, I have a question." So I knew if I ever started a business or did anything, I was going to call it Hey Daddies. So when I started building this, I said it's going to be called Hey Daddies. So that is the name of my bar. And on another episode, I'll give you a little tour of my bar. So I took some notes so that I can make sure I don't forget things as we go along this journey together. But when I started thinking about how do I want to decorate this place, I said, I'm not a NASCAR guy. I like sports, but not just one team. Who was I going to go for? So I started thinking about it, and what did I like? I like cheap beer, I like the beach, and I like music. Those are my things that I like to talk about, go to, listen, be part of. So with that, this place is decorated with some cheap beer, which you're going to see in a second, a lot of music references, and some beach themes, which I will show you at another time. My bar top looks just like the ocean waves coming in. My friend Andy Reynolds, who may be a guest on this sometime, made this especially for me with an epoxy. I'll give him out a shout. So shout out, Free Range Customs. He can build anything. And when you see this bar later on, you'll be very impressed, and maybe you want one that looks like ocean waves coming in. But that's a little history. We will learn more through this journey. I plan on doing this every Wednesday, starting in this week, and then moving through the year. We'll see how it goes. But the whole concept is we're going to have a drink, which this week, the drink is Miller Lite. The reason it's Miller Lite, it's the OG. It's where we started. So let me just start right now. It's the best domestic light beer, in my opinion. So I'm going to have the drink and the song. And so when we talk about the song, I started thinking, how do you break down a song? I'm very fortunate that people know I like music. So my daughter Grace, who is my producer behind the scenes right now, you'll see her at another time. My sister-in-law Beth, my other daughter Molly, and her husband Jake. My friend Andy, my friend Mike, Tony, Donnie, Sammy, Billy, Tommy, all of them send me music all the time. So I'll get a song, they'll send it to me, and I will stop what I'm doing, and I listen to the whole song at least one time through. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3 more if I like it. I'm trying to figure out what's the story of that song and what is it that they liked about it, or why did they send it to me? Why did they think I would like it? Or why did they like it so much? And so I will really give it 100% of my full attention. So we're going to do that with you. I actually play special music on church on Sundays, and I usually bring a song from outside and play it. This started during COVID also, and people now listen to the songs in a different way. Some people, they just like the melody or they like the rhythm, but I'm trying to get people to actually listen to the story within the song because that's my favorite part. So I thought why not share this with more people? I've done a podcast before, I've made drinks on TikTok, but I've never had a YouTube channel. And so that's what this is, a drink and a song. So let's learn a little bit about the drink. Each week, I will make a different drink. I'll make something probably more complex than a Miller Lite, but I'll make something that if you like it, you can try it too. I hope you like the music, but maybe you'll like a drink, even if you didn't like the song. So this drink is my favorite, as I told you, Miller Lite. So a little history about Miller Lite. So like I said, I want you to learn something. So Miller Lite has been around for 50 years. There was this biochemist named Joseph Owads who developed a brewing process, and his whole goal was to get out calories and carbs in beer, because so many people just would drink a beer and feel so full, and they wanted something a little lighter. So it tasted terrible, but there was this brewery in Chicago called Brewmeister, the Meisterbrau, not Brewmeister, Meisterbrau. And they acquired the recipe, and they started struggling financially, so they ended up selling it to the Miller Brewing Company in 1970. Well, Miller got a hold of it and said, this tastes terrible. This is a terrible beer, but a great concept. So they reformulated the formula, and in 1975, they launched it nationwide. But the best thing that Miller did was a great marketing campaign. You've probably heard all through the 70s and 80s, taste great, less filling. That was a brilliant marketing campaign. Taste great, less filling, like I said. It does taste great, and it is less filling. You can drink one of these or two and not feel like you ate a loaf of bread. So it's my choice when I go somewhere. When I show you around at another date, you'll see how the decorations from my bar, from behind me to the dartboard to the signs, there's some Miller Lite references here. So I think it's still one of the best light beers. It is one of the best light selling beers. I think Bud Light passed it because their campaign of the Clydesdales, it was pretty good. So they've lost some of their audience, but it's still a good beer. But I'm a Miller Lite guy. So now you know, 50 years later, they figured it out. So I hope that you like it. Come by sometime, have a drink with me. So that's a little history on the drink. So now to the main event. Let's talk about the song. So this is a challenge. I know I'm going to have a song every week, but how do you decide what's the first song? What's the first song that's going to be one that maybe someone will listen to and come back? Because we're going to be all over the genres. We're going to be in Americana, we're going to be in country, we're going to be in some gospel, we're going to be in folk, we're going to be in rock, we're going to be in pop. It doesn't matter the genre, it just matters the song and the story. So I was like, what's a good one that someone might watch this for the first time and say, you know what, I'm coming back next Wednesday to listen again. So I put a lot of time thinking about this for the last couple months, and my friend Bill St. Pierre had sent me a song, one of his favorites, a couple years ago, called The Story by Brandi Carlile. What a perfect song to start this out, because we're talking about stories. Each one of these songs is a story, and this song embodies that. It tells the story of a story. So that is going to be our first song. If you don't know Brandi Carlile, she's really blown up over the last few years. She's an Oscar nominee. She's won Emmy. She's won Grammys. Her music is considered Americana, folk, country, rock, pop. It's all of those things in one. She's very diverse, and she's got a beautiful voice, which you're going to get to hear in just a second. And so that's what I'm going to play for you today, and we're going to break it down. So a couple rules though. I learned by doing this, you can't just play the song. There might be some copyright infringements. There might be issues with the artist and you playing. Even though I'm trying to promote their song, you can't just play their song. But if you stop and talk through the song, and if you talk enough, it breaks it up. You're going to be okay. So unfortunately for you, I have to stop and talk about the song. But fortunately for me, that's what I love to do, stop and talk about the song. So we're going to talk through this song. It's called The Story by Brandi Carlile, and let's get it started. So just so you know, the very beginning, it hits you. It grabs you. It grabbed me. the stories are on the lines on your face. And as I get older and older, there's more lines on my face and there's more stories. And those stories tell who I am and how I got to where I am. And that's how it starts. But the best part that I like about it, they say this, but then she said, none of it means anything if you don't have someone to share them with. And I 100% agree with that. You know, I work with a job where I get to travel a lot and people want to go and do different things. I'll go sometimes, but I really don't want to go because I want to do those things with my wife, with my family, my children, my friends. Work friends are great, and I have a lot of good ones, but work friends come and go. There's very few that actually stay in every chapter of your story, but they don't mean anything if you don't have someone to share them with. And so we're going to talk about the first part of this song, and then I'll stop. So here we go.
All of these lines across my face tell you the story of who I am. So many stories of where I've been, and now I got to where I am. But these stories don't mean anything when you've got no one to tell them to. It's true, I was made for you.
I think I summed that up pretty good. They don't mean anything. I was made for you. So the next part of the song is when she talks about the places she's been, the struggles, the rules she's broken, all of this just to get to that person. I'm going to have a lot of songs about cheating and heartbreak and sadness because they're good stories, but I feel a little bit of like an imposter. I don't have any of those. I haven't cheated on my wife. I've been married 34 years. I didn't have heartbreak. I don't have these terrible stories of sadness, which I'm thankful for, but also these artists are so good. I feel like I can live through their experiences without actually having the heartbreak, the cheating, the drinking. None of those happen to me, but when I'm listening to that song, I feel like I'm in there, but I'm thankful that I can stop it after 3 to 3.5 minutes. So this next part is all the struggles to get to that person. So here she goes again.
I climbed across the mountain tops, swam all across the ocean blue. I crossed all the lands and I rode all through. And baby, I broke them all for you. Oh, because even when I was like broke, you made me feel like a million bucks. You do. I was made for you.
I love that part. This evening when I was flat broke, you made me feel like $1 million. That's what a good relationship does. And the opposite's true. You feel broke when you're with the wrong person. So I just love how she equates the right person, even when you're at your worst, makes you still feel like $1 million. So now she's moving into the next part of the song where I love this piece. I'll let her keep going. You see the smile upon my face. You see the smile on my mouth, but you don't know what I've been through. You don't know my head's a mess. You don't know this as just casual friends, but the person who's your one true, they know. So listen right here. It's so good.
You see the smile that's on my mouth. It's hiding the words that don't come out. And all of my friends who think that I'm blessed, they don't know my yes, a man.
I love that part. All of my friends who thinks I'm so blessed, they don't know that my head is a mess. And in a second, she's going to say, but you do. You do. That's the part I love. Because you see people every day, they put a smile on. You think, wow, everything's going great. But you don't know what people are going through. But the family, the people the closest to you, they do know what you're going through. And they know the real you. And so I love how she captures that in the song. So.
No, they don't know who
last verse. Ready? Oh, I'll spare you from singing out loud, but in my car, just know it. Here we go. Here's just gonna finish on a high note. Oh my goodness. I think I picked the perfect song to start this this YouTube channel. I think it embodied everything that I wanted to. So next week, I think we're going country. So if you like country music, more of a classic sound, but a newer guy, listen along. Because if you haven't heard of Zach Top, he's got some great lyrics and traditional music. As I'm looking at the camera, look behind me. Can you see the sky? It is turning evening right now. Grace, can you see the beautiful sunset behind me? It's pink and I can see it in the actual camera, but wow. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching on my first episode. Hit like, hit subscribe if you want to see more, if you have a suggestion. If you're a person who's not afraid to get in front of the camera, I'll bring a seat right next to me. You come on and you can talk about your song, what you like about it, what lyrics grabbed you and made you know that, hey, this is a song I'm going to listen to over and over and over in my car. So Grace and I, we're kind of habitual when it comes to a song. When we like a song, we'll listen to it 100 times. And so if you haven't heard this song and you like it, go listen to it, hit like, come back, give me some feedback if there's certain things you liked, certain things you didn't. But thanks for joining in. Grace, any final last words?
Like and subscribe.
There you go. Good night, everybody.